Well, hello everyone. I hope and pray that you're doing well. Philip Neri was an Italian saint from the 1500s. Bit of a jokester, a bit of a trickster. The story goes that once he showed up at the house of a parishioner with half of his beard shaved right off. Another time when there was this kind of scholarly, stoic, serious bishop visiting, attending one of St. Philip's services, Philip decided that he just kind of had to lighten the mood, so he committed every possible error in pronunciation that he could think of during the sermon. And there's other stories, and I just think these stories of St. Philip Neri make him seem to me very human. This week, November 1st, is sometimes called All Saints' Day. It's a feast for observing the lives of many saints for whom there's no specific feast day during the year, right? So All Saints' Day, that's why it's called All Saints' Day, right? It kind of covers everybody off. And Catholics and Methodists and Anglicans and Lutherans and many others, are big on All Saints' Day. Now, Reformed folks, we don't observe a lot of saints' days, and so All Saints' Day is then kind of a good entry point, an entree into celebrating the priesthood, even the sainthood of all believers for us. Now, I get that Protestants are suspicious of recognizing the saints. Sometimes because, it's seemed historically sometimes as this kind of spiritual form of hero worship, and so we're careful, we're guarded about that. But still, when we read the Apostles' Creed, it says we believe the communion of the saints. And so that word saints, to be set apart, to be holy, to be infused by the Holy Spirit. There is a great cloud of witness that surrounds us and cheers us on as Christians. And so to celebrate All Saints, it need not be about worship. Instead, it can help us worship the Lord who makes saints. Now, Frederick Buechner, when he talks about saints, he talks about how they are such a gift to all of us. This is what he writes. Many people think of saints as plaster saints, men and women of such paralyzing virtue that they never thought a nasty thought or did an evil deed their entire lives long. As far as we know, real saints never even come close to characterizing themselves that way. On the contrary, no less a saint than St. Paul wrote to Timothy, "I am foremost among sinners." So in other words, the feet of saints are as much of clay as everybody else's, and their sainthood consists less of what they have done than of what God has done for some reason and chosen to do through them. When you consider that St. Mary Magdalene was possessed by 7 devils, that St. Augustine prayed, "Give me chastity and continence, but not now," or that St. Francis started out as a high-living young dude in downtown Assisi, and that St. Simeon Stylites spent years on top of a 60-foot pole, then you figure there's maybe nobody that God can't use as a means of grace, including even ourselves. Paul himself addresses a lot of his letters to the saints in Ephesus, to the saints, right? Who, it turns out, each of whom are very ordinary people, faithful followers of Jesus Christ, in whom God's Holy Spirit dwells. The peace of Christ be with you all.